Hey, what's up? This is Claytown here, and this is my new little talk show about just the geek news of the week, and I'll try to be doing it weekly. So yeah, here we go. So our first topic is The Walking Dead. I did a separate video for my little like review slash summary of the first episode of the season, and man, just to kind of like recap, that was a really sad, depressing episode, but it was also a really good episode, probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite. But yeah, let's get on to episode two. This episode was definitely in contrast to the last episode. This episode was definitely to bring some of the hope back to the show because we were introduced to a new community called the Kingdom, and this was where Morgan and Carol ended up after the season 6 finale, where towards the end, after Morgan had killed that savior, a guy in like armor, quote unquote, not like real armor, but like they got it from like a sports store or something. But yeah, he came and basically he was the one that was looking for the horse. And in season 7, episode 2, it's revealed that he's part of the kingdom. Very early on in the episode, you get introduced to King Ezekiel, and he's kind of the leader of the kingdom, the same way Gregory is the leader of the Hilltop, and Negan's the leader of the Saviors at Sanctuary, and Rick is the leader, quote unquote, at the Alexandria Safe Zone. So yeah, he was awesome. He was very comic accurate, and the great thing is they did Shiva, his pet tiger, and she looked great. And after watching Talking Dead, and they kind of showed how they did Shiva. They used CGI and then used some practical, I guess, models of Shiva and kind of mixed and matched that to create the Shiva we saw in the episode, and it looked great. It looked legitimate. Like obviously, it was mostly CGI at some points, but for the most part, you couldn't really tell. It looked great. I thought Shiva and Ezekiel together on screen, it was beautiful. It felt just like the comics. The last thing I would like to talk about on Walking Dead is the pretty much it seems like they will be giving Carol uh, Michonne's comic book arc when it comes to Ezekiel, because it seems like towards the end of the episode they imply that Ezekiel kind of is interested in Carol, kind of like how he was with Michonne in the comics. So it seems like all you Daryl Carol shippers, myself included, we're gonna probably have to finally give up on that because it seems like they're gonna have Ezekiel and Carol eventually kind of hook up like Michonne and him did in the comics. And the one thing that really makes me sure that will happen is Ezekiel really opened up to her towards the end of the episode, and it was implied that he hasn't really done that to with anyone else, and he basically reveals his backstory to her, where he's obviously not really royalty or whatever because he's not really king. It's him putting on a show because he did stage plays basically, and that's kind of how he's learned how to use a sword and whatnot. But he explains to her that he used to be a zookeeper, and basically he saved Shiva when she, I guess, got stuck on one of those little moats in the zoo during the apocalypse, and he saves her. And ever since then, she hasn't even growled at him. And basically, that's how he's kind of put on that presence as King Ezekiel, because no one like would walk up to a guy with a tiger and feel like they could do anything to hurt him. So yeah, overall, it was a great episode, and I'm looking forward to more King Ezekiel and Shiva, and really season 7 to come because they've had 2 strong episodes so far. So yeah, let's move on. Next topic. Let's talk about the new Suicide Squad extended cut trailer. I'm pretty excited. I love Suicide Squad. I never got around to giving a review originally when I planned to, because by the time I got back from my little vacation, it'd been too long and I just didn't see the point. But I really loved the movie, and an extended cut's gonna be great. I believe there's gonna be like 11 to 12 extra minutes of footage, and I can tell from what I've seen in the trailer, uh, they'll extend some of those Joker scenes to show more of the abusive side of him when it comes to Harley, and then they'll probably extend some of the scenes with Harley that were cut from the film, like in the one of the trailers that talked about having a drink, and it showed all the characters like whiskey, beer, blah 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 blah, and El Diablo is like water, and she's like, "That's a good idea." Like, it looks like they're going to be adding that scene back in from the trailer, which is great. And let's keep on going with some DC news. This is I thought was pretty interesting. If you've been keeping up with Stephen Amell, he posted a picture of him in the season one Arrow suit, and so it seems like sometime this season of Arrow, he'll be wearing the season one Arrow suit again, which is pretty cool. And I'll openly admit, season 5 of Arrow so far is really great. Season 3 and season 4 really weren't that good. Season 3 had some great moments. Season 4, really, the crossover episode was the only episodes that I really liked. Like, for the most part, season 4 was really bad. But yeah, this is pretty awesome to see him in the season 1 Arrow suit, because I do have a soft spot. The season 1 Arrow suit was pretty cool looking. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see why he's in the Arrow season 1 suit. Okay, here's some interesting news, and it's more of a theory, but in this week's episode of Legends of Tomorrow, the Firestorm guys, Dr. Stein and Jax, I guess they found a secret room in Rip Hunter's ship, and in it there was a voice recording of Barry Allen from the future, and I guess he was leaving a message for Rip Hunter that Rip Hunter might have known about, and that could be why he's gone. But and it was really, it's kind of, this is really might be a little bit of a stretch, but it came from the year 2056, and that year really, for the most part, has no significance in the DC lore, except in the Young Justice animated series. That was the year that Bart Allen came from. So it's possible that this could be a Bart Allen tease for Legends of Tomorrow, because I mean, the villain, the main, like the arch nemesis villain of Legends of Tomorrow this year is the Legion of Doom, led by Reverse Flash. So it would make sense that they might need a speedster on their side. So yeah, I think it'd be really cool to bring Bart Allen in. And yeah, last week's episode of Supergirl, it was pretty good. Obviously, it kind of wasn't as good as the last two episodes, because I mean, come on, you had Superman, so it's kind of hard to beat that. But this episode was still pretty good. You had Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman, come on and play as the president. The one thing that did kind of bother me is they did get a little too political for my taste. I really would prefer that entertainment industry just get their heads out of their asses and stick to telling a story and not trying to push politicians' agenda on it. Because I'm just gonna say it. It felt like they might as well have just made the president Hillary Clinton, in my opinion. But whatever. Um, yeah, the episode overall was pretty good. Uh, but really, the tease at the end was what I liked. Was we finally got to see Miss Martian, which was awesome. She looked great, and hopefully, please, I hope they stick with her white Martian origin, where she's really a white Martian and she's pretending to be a green Martian like Martian Manhunter. But yeah, she looks great, and I'm excited to see more of her tonight on Supergirl, because I'm sure they're gonna dive deeper into that Martian Manhunter Miss Martian storyline. And finally, let's end this episode of Geek Talk with a little comic book talk. Justice League vs. Suicide Squad, we start in about a month, that miniseries, and that's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to see that, because so far I'm really loving what they're doing with Suicide Squad. in the comics so far, and Justice League in the comics has been great. So it's gonna be fun to see those two worlds kind of collide. And what's great is recently they've announced that as a direct result of Justice League versus Suicide Squad, Batman will be forming a new Justice League of America, which will include Vixen, the Atom, Black Canary, Killer Frost, I think the Ray, I believe, and surprisingly Lobo. Like that is like whoa. Because as probably a lot of you DC fans know, Lobo is more of a villain slash anti-hero. So uh, it's going to be very interesting to see him on this Justice League of America. Especially, I can't even imagine his conversations with him and Batman. That's going to be great because he's definitely not a good guy. Like in my opinion, like I'm surprised they didn't just put him on the Suicide Squad. He'd work better there than he would Justice League America. But it's gonna be really cool to see him on this Justice League America with Batman as leader, and that's gonna be also kind of interesting because Batman's gonna kind of be doing double duty because he's also part of the main Justice League. So yeah, this is gonna be a really cool series. So yeah, that's Geek Talk episode 1. I'll be doing this weekly, or at least trying to, like I said. So yeah, see you next Monday for the Geek News of the Week. Bye.